Miami real estate? It's buzzing, no doubt. It seems like everyone suddenly realized Florida is the place to be. And when it comes to Miami, Brickell. Brickell is on everyone's lips.
Is the place to be.
You've seen the headlines.
The flood of people coming in.
And you want in on the action, but is it all hype?
That's what we're diving into today. You've got Habitat Group's Q2 2024 market report, which means you're not just here for the sunshine. You're looking for serious investment opportunities.
Exactly. And Habitat Group, they know those opportunities. 2 decades, they've been a major player in Brickell. 1,000 units developed, another 500 managed. They're practically part of the Brickell skyline at this point.
And their report, it gives us a unique look at what's really driving this market, beyond the hype.
Okay, let's unpack it then. They talk about the Florida sunshine, the low taxes. I mean, who doesn't like keeping more of their money?
But it's more than appealing. It's a major driving force. The report actually ranks Florida as having the 6th lowest tax burden in the entire U.S. And get this, zero state income tax on investment returns. Imagine what that does for your bottom line.
And that's a warm welcome. But this isn't just retirees chasing a tax haven anymore. Miami's population growth is astounding. Over 6 million people recently moved to the greater Miami area. That has to be putting a serious squeeze on housing, especially in a desirable location like Brickell.
Absolutely. And here's where it gets really interesting. It's not just retirees anymore. The report actually points to a major shift. People are relocating for work. Miami is becoming a hub for opportunity. And these aren't just any employees. We're talking high earners.
Yeah, the report mentions Citadel moving their headquarters to Brickell. That's a pretty big deal.
Huge. When a financial giant like Citadel makes a move like that, it sends ripples through the entire system. Suddenly, Brickell isn't just a place to live. It's a place to work, to invest, to be a part of something big. And where high net worth individuals go, luxury follows. We're talking about an influx of wealth that impacts everything from real estate to high-end retail.
So we've got this incredible surge in demand fueled by tax benefits, lifestyle, and now a booming job market attracting serious players. But is it sustainable? Can Brickell handle this type of growth, or are we looking at a bubble ready to burst?
The million-dollar question, right? The report does suggest a soft landing scenario for the overall economy. However, and this is crucial for anyone looking to invest, they emphasize political uncertainty as a major factor to watch.
Yes. The unpredictable political landscape. Always a wild card.
Exactly. So while Brickell is showing incredible strength right now, smart investors like yourself should keep a close eye on how these political factors evolve. It's a fascinating and potentially lucrative time to be paying attention to this market.
So we've got this tidal wave of demand hitting Brickell, but what about the other side of the coin? The supply side of the equation? Because the Habitat Group report suggests things are about to get very, very interesting.
Interesting is an understatement. The report does a deep dive on what they call condo cycles in Brickell. These periods of boom and slowdown that have shaped the area's real estate landscape.
Okay, condo cycles. Remind me about those cycles. I remember that big boom around 2006, followed by a bit of a cool down. Where are we at now?
All right, so cycle 1, that 2006 boom. Massive development. Then came cycle 2, much more subdued. But here's where it gets crazy. We're now on the verge of cycle 3.
Cycle 3.
Projected for 2025, 2026, and is predicted to be even bigger than cycle 2.
Okay, that's the big picture, but break it down for me. What does this actually mean for someone looking to get in on Brickell right now?
It means you're potentially looking at a gold mine, but a rapidly shrinking one. The report states that Brickell currently has a condo supply is only 4%.
4%.
4%.
Five.
To put that into perspective, a balanced market usually hovers around 10 to 12%.
Wow.
This is incredibly low and is putting immense upward pressure on prices.
4%. No wonder those headlines about skyrocketing prices are making waves.
Exactly. And here's where it gets even more intriguing. The report highlights the pre-construction pipeline, sitting at a whopping 40% supply.
Hold on, 4% available now, but 40% in the pipeline. That's a massive gap. So we've got this tiny supply available right now, but a wave of new inventory projected to hit the market in the next few years.
You've got it. And that's the big question mark hanging over Brickell right now. Will that new inventory be enough to meet this unprecedented demand, or will it simply add fuel to the fire, pushing prices even higher?
It's a high-stakes game of real estate roulette, and timing seems to be everything. So if I'm understanding this right, getting in now, even with these already elevated prices, could be a savvy move.
It could be a very strategic move. Now, there are never any guarantees in real estate, but the data suggests that this perfect storm of low inventory, high demand won't last forever. The question is, how much higher will those prices climb before that new inventory hits the market?
It's a calculated risk for sure. And speaking of calculated risks, let's talk about Habitat Group and their specific projects. They've provided this insightful report, so I'm guessing they've got some skin in the game.
Oh, they're not just dipping their toes in, they're diving right into the deep end. They've got several projects in various stages of development, perfectly positioned to capitalize on this unique moment in Brickell's real estate cycle.
Okay, so Habitat Group isn't just sitting on the sidelines here. They're building the future of Brickell one project at a time.
They're building it.
So let's talk about these projects, how they fit into this bigger picture of condo cycles and a red-hot market.
Good point. The report lays out their current projects.
Yeah.
Smart Brickell Lux, Season 1, Millix Place, Parkside. And their timelines are very strategic, especially when you consider those condo cycles we talked about.
Right, because timing is everything in this game.
Everything.
What's the breakdown on these projects?
Millix Place and Parkside, all projected to hit the market between 2024 and 2028. This puts them right in the sweet spot of Cycle 3, when demand is expected to be at its peak.
So they're building right into that wave of demand, but how do their prices compare to other developments in Brickell? Are they competitive?
Let's go to page 11 of the report, the Brickell price per square foot comparison chart. What's interesting is that Habitat Group's projects are priced competitively, even slightly below some of the bigger names in the area.
That's a bold move considering the high demand. Are they leaving money on the table, or is this a strategic play to attract investors in a crowded market?
That's the question, isn't it? It's possible they're using this pricing strategy to gain a foothold in the market.
Yeah, makes sense.
They're a newer player at this scale, so offering competitive pricing could attract investors who are looking for value without sacrificing quality or location. It'll be fascinating to see how this all plays out as Cycle 3 unfolds and that new inventory comes online.
Absolutely. And speaking of attracting investors, the report also mentioned something about an EB-5 program. Can you unpack that for us? I'm not as familiar with that one.
Of course. So the EB-5 program is a U.S. visa program that allows foreign investors to obtain a green card by investing in specific types of U.S.-based projects that create jobs. So it's a way for investors to potentially secure residency while also putting their capital to work in the American economy. Habitat Group is likely tapping into EB-5 funding for some of these projects, which speaks to their ambition and their ability to attract international investment.
So someone listening to this who's interested in, say, Season 1 could potentially leverage the EB-5 program as part of their investment.
It's certainly a possibility, though it's important to remember that the EB-5 program has specific requirements and complexities. It's not as simple as just investing in any project, but for the right investor, it could be very advantageous, both in terms of immigration and investment strategy.
Got it. So we've covered a lot of ground here, from the macro trends driving demand to the microanalysis of Habitat Group's projects and their unique approach. It's clear that Brickell is a hotbed of opportunity, but it's also a complex landscape with a lot of moving parts. What are some key takeaways our listeners should be walking away with today?
I think the biggest takeaway is that Miami, particularly Brickell, is undergoing a serious transformation. This isn't just a blip on the radar. This is a complete reshaping of the city's economic and demographic landscape. And for investors, this creates a unique convergence of factors: high demand, limited supply, and the potential for significant returns.
Right. It's like we're seeing the stars align for those who are willing to take that calculated risk and be a part of this exciting moment in Miami's story.
Exactly. This Habitat Group report has provided a fascinating glimpse into the forces shaping this market, but it's just the beginning. The real question is, what will you do with this information? Will you capitalize on this unique moment in Brickell's history? Or will you watch from the sidelines as others reap the rewards?
Now that is the million-dollar question. We've equipped you with the knowledge, but now the ball is in your court. If this deep dive into Brickell has piqued your interest, head over to Habitat Group's website, explore their projects, and see for yourself. Knowledge is power, especially in a market as dynamic as this one. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the exciting world of Brickell real estate.